Good evening, everyone. This is Ali and Shima with you today.
Good evening, good morning.
Yes, depending on what time zone our audience is in.
You are. Yes, welcome to our program.
Yes, and today we are continuing with yesterday's topic about what Miles Guo revealed about the CCP virus and pandemic. We might be doing this for a while because there is so much information to share. So let's just jump straight into it and we'll come back and discuss. Okay. What Miles Guo said on the 7th of March 2020, in just a few dozen hours, an unprecedented virus unleashing incident that can kill 1 billion Chinese people was advertised to be the work of Americans, and the vast majority actually believed that.
Not only at that time, on the 7th of March of 2020, from Miles Guo's live stream at that time, until now, some people, not only in China, but brainwashed by the mainstream, some people still think this is a natural thing happen and out of people's control, and we only can accept it. And also at the same time, if you go to some street interview for some Chinese ordinary people, some people might still believe this CCP virus is America's.
Which is
from America, from the USA.
We know the truth that it's not from America, of course.
Yes.
It's intentionally released by the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah.
But for the people inside China, and we mentioned this yesterday as well, because they only see what the government has told them, so they really do believe their lies.
Yes, that is a big lie. Is man-made by the CCP dictatorship region.
Yeah.
And we hope that we can awaken, let everybody keep that awake in mind and don't be easily cheated or easily be fooled by them, because this is very simple and the clear logic of the facts.
Yes.
Everybody believes that everybody should know that virus from Wuhan, the city in China, but that is not the disaster created by the researchers in the laboratory, the people laboratory, but all of the whole thing just be purposely.
It's with the cooperation of evil forces around the world that led to this, but it's mainly the
just
CCP
a small
that pushed
group of
this around.
people, very evil people, on the top of the CCP region, and made the whole disaster, and let a lot of innocent people are killed or damaged or impacted or influenced by this whole pandemic period.
Yeah, and it's not even just the entire party. It's just a tiny portion of the party members.
Right. Yes.
And I'm pretty sure the vast majority of workers or officials within the CCP are actually completely oblivious to what was happening, or they've absolutely no idea the planning of the very top officials that led to this catastrophe.
Yes, you are right. Actually, that's why we would like to share this information, these truths from Miles Guo many years ago, and also from whistleblower movement, because we hope that not only the people in USA, you can know we still got Chinese people with kind-hearted, and we respect the truth and facts, and we would like to let everybody understand this is not Chinese people's fault, and this is not anything related with China the country, but only the core and the reason of any kinds of these disasters, any kinds of bad things happened during pandemic. We should let everybody understand that is the CCP's evilness.
Yes, this was the work of a very, very tiny minority group that was holding large amounts of power and large amounts of control over people's lives.
Yes.
And they had it in their hands. So they had the power to release this, to cause all of this disastrous happenings, and also consequently the deaths of people in China and around the world. But the Chinese people themselves had no idea what was happening, just like everyone else.
Until now.
Yeah, until now. When you listen to what Miles Guo has shared in 2020 and before and after 2020, he reveals so much information about what actually happened and how this was an intentional plan by the CCP all along.
Yes.
I think we can continue with the next part.
Yes. And also we should, from my personal, opinion, I really feel very sad for the people in different countries, not only in China but outside of China, CCP China. A great number of people, for example, take Australia as one of them, because a lot of people just notice the pandemic comes suddenly and then it disappears suddenly. But why? No one asks why.
Yeah.
It just appears in front of you and let your life totally changed, and with a lot of difficulty, and even the, basic essentials, you cannot get it, freely and easily. And you lose your job, and you lose your money, and you lose your close contact with your family members. And all of the things happens in this society and in this world just to force people to accept it. It's abnormal, but it forces people to take it for granted that is normal, and people wouldn't like to accept it. So that's why we have some chat in the year before last year. I cannot remember exactly, because some Australian people, some very brave Australian people, they would like to, stand up and do some fight against with some bad laws.
Yes, I think it was
and
the year before last year.
And also they led some very brave movement, like good people and bad law, because this is a world full of chaos and let people, in very deep confusing.
Yeah, for a lot
even
of people,
in Australia.
I think, especially where we are living.
Yes.
It came and went in the presence of lockdowns, in the presence of toilet paper shortage.
Yes, and the fight for that toilet paper in the supermarket.
And shortages all around the place. And also maybe online meetings, things like that. It took in the presence of these events, but they're very small in the entirety. When we look about the large amounts of planning that went behind this, then you'll realize it all makes sense.
Yes.
It makes sense. And also the subsequent rolling out of this medicine and that vaccine and this wave and that wave, and people were talking about it's just like every month there's a new variant coming out.
Yes. People think, as we mentioned before, this quickly come and quickly disappear pandemic just a story. No, it's not a story. It's a very sad story. And this is a big disaster.
That once it's gone, as it is now, then people think, oh yeah, it's gone. It's never going to happen again.
Yes. Then let's just have a look. When you just open your eyes to have a very good look around your world and daily life. How about Hunter? And how about Ebola? How about other kinds of deadly viruses? Going around here and there, you never know. You cannot tell when, where, for what kind of ways it will appear again. Yeah. So that's why we would let people to read some information, to get some information, and to discuss with us what happened. Take that CCP virus as one example. That is a very good example to let all of the people in and out of China, CCP China, all of our people should know we are just in the world. Our whole humankind in this planet need to make a good choice which way we should go. Keep cheating. Keep cheated by them, or
Keep
just
being cheated on.
yes, or just choose our own way to go freely, because we have people's right. We
Yes.
should hold the freedom, the human rights, and our body health things issues decision totally by ourselves.
Yes.
And this
As
is our
mentioned
rights.
in this slide, I think what Miles Guo meant as the vast majority was the vast majority inside China.
Yes.
I don't believe the vast majority of the world really believed that this virus came from America.
Yes,
Because
right.
even if talking to people around me, talking to people around us, I think that people have a basic common sense to at least know the country of origin.
Yeah,
of where
because
this
all
virus
of these
came from.
CCP dictators, they are coward. They are not brave enough to do something by themselves.
They cannot
and
own
they will
their
play the
decisions.
tricks. They will play the tricks. They will change the people into their puppet and manipulate them, play with them, and they just brainwash the people and let people to believe the words from the newspapers, televisions, anything, even the whole education system. Not only the kindergarten, but also the primary school, middle school, university, research center, anywhere. Because they do this kind of brainwash thing for a long time. If you can know more of the history of the bad history of communism, international communism, or how it developed and how it keep telling lies to the people to brainwash the people, and you will know everything related is really evil.
As Miles Guo has said, what the CCP advertises is a way of volume. They
Yes.
flood you with it every day, 24/7. You'll eventually believe it if you hear nothing else.
Yes, in short, if CCP says something, you should say no to them or refuse to
Exactly.
accept that.
Yes.
That is the best answer to protect us.
Miles Guo said, "To all brothers and sisters, at this time, you can see the Chinese Communist Party's pushing force from all over the international media spreading propaganda in the past 2 weeks. The coronavirus no longer connects to them. No Wuhan, no Hubei, no CCP, only the rhetoric that the virus originated in the United States."
Okay, from this paragraph, everybody, this shows you very good example how CCP not only infiltrated in some countries around it. Some might understand, yes, CCP have some influence, bad influence around it, like some Asian countries or some countries in Asia Pacific area. But actually, the whole worldwide along the One Belt, One Road initiative, and also after CCP, the evil party, take hold of the whole region and control of China, the country, it just built. And before that, I think if you read the history, before that, with the international communism support or Illuminati, party, force behind it, actually it doing anything people cannot believe at that time. But now with whistleblower movement, Miles Guo's information source, we know everything completely, 100% true. CCP, this party, is one part of the international communism, and this international communism organization, the whole system, not to work for the people, not as I mentioned, will work for the people, will work for the peasants, the poor classes, and even the workers, even some soldiers. No, they are not for all of us, all of the people. They just serve for their, evil plan, or their, very dirty hands and very dark hearts.
Yeah,
so
I think
we should know that.
a point from this text, it says international media. It's not just their own media.
And not only CCP media, CCP
It's not
China
just in the region,
inside.
their own
Yes.
state.
Yes.
It's across the world. They have controlled
That's-
media in other
yes,
places, in other
this
countries.
is a very good point you to pick it up from this paragraph, because if that's why during the whole pandemic, if you go to Google, Facebook, any kinds of mainstream platform, you cannot get the reason or the real story, what happened the whole pandemic, why, what kind of the story, what is the real version of CCP virus leaked from the P4 laboratory in Wuhan in China. There is no story even now.
I did a quick search
yes.
about this topic.
Mm-hmm.
And what came up was a bunch of very confusing and misleading theories.
Yes.
I find that people are still very confused about the origin, and they spread this confusion to other people by saying this is still a matter of debate and discussion. Like it's something from a history book or an event from 1,000 years ago. But this is just what happened a couple years ago, and we know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
There is no confusion over the origin. We know it came from Wuhan. We know it came from the CCP P4 lab.
Yes.
And it's not just a lab leak.
Yes.
It came from the lab. It was released. Yes,
my friends. And also I invite Eddie. We can do the experiment together. If you just now, this paragraph Miles Guo shared with the whole world in 2020, right? After several years, until now, 2026 now, more than 6 years. If you go to any kind of mainstream platform, and if you key in those keywords like CCP virus, why and when and where and what happened, even you ask ChatGPT, I believe they won't give you the real answer. Like Miles Guo, like whistleblower movement, we know the answer. We already know the truth and the facts related with CCP virus. But why this mainstream platform and AI technology, they cannot show you this answer related with any kind of facts and truth? They are very smarter than us, right? They got countless experts, professional workers, researchers, and they can provide us the best answer and the only answer, because only one truth lies in all of the happening. But can you get that answer by yourself from other mainstream platform? Can you trust Google? Can you trust Facebook?
It's so difficult to find a very definite fact check. And plus, at this point, how can you even expect there will be a definite answer? Because AI itself gets its answers from news articles online, from media online, and if the media, or at least a part of it, is controlled by the CCP, you can only imagine what kind of words they will push out.
Yes.
I believe during March 2020, there at least was still some media saying it's from Wuhan. I think it's not 100% like just one way the CCP controls it all, because that would be impossible. Though they do have some level of infiltration in a lot of places.
Yes.
I think there would still have been media articles saying this virus did come from Wuhan lab. But overall, it's an absolute blurry line.
Yes.
So when they add a lot of those loud and chaotic voices that clash together, then it seems very difficult for the normal person online to find out the truth.
They cannot find it by people themselves, because they just cover up and hide all of the facts and truths in groups, and they work together. Some national forces or some forces, some national power infiltrated by them. Some big names are, bribed by, CCP, the evil region, and they cannot speak up. They cannot speak for the people. And from this paragraph, we can draw a very quick conclusion and a very solid conclusion. First, that's why Miles Guo is CCP's number one enemy and number one threat and number one big challenge. And also, remember the time. Miles Guo provided us the facts and truths more than 6 years. And until now, we still cannot get the facts and truths related with CCP virus easily. We do have a lot of brave people, not only, including us, and also other brave doctors, brave nurses, brave researchers, and even they publish the books and the articles and the papers to expose, to reveal all of the facts and truths, but be covered up by some evil forces, including CCP party, and also other, work with them, running dogs here and there worldwide. But we should know, if we can't do something, we can't let people to know all of this information. And if we cannot spread the facts and truths as more as we can, they still can suppress the people's voice easily because they got money, they got power, and they got money, power, and together. And they got elites, they got countless smart people work for them. We have nothing. We are just, grassroots people. That's why we should work together.
Yes. At the same time, this is March 2020. So at the same time in 2019, around a year ago, before Miles Guo shared what he said on this slide, there was the Hong Kong anti-extradition protest. So during that time, the police had a lot of brutal crackdowns on the protesters on the street. So 1 year later, in March 2020, Miles Guo shares, on the streets of Hong Kong, people are dying every minute. When the police beat people, protesters, they say, I'll make sure your entire family gets infected with the virus. I'll make sure they all get COVID-19. Then people on the building would be thrown down. So what does that mean here?
Actually, this is another dark story behind the Hong Kong movement in 2019. That's why this kind of story people cannot read from the mainstream platform, I have to say, either. So that's why our people get our own fighting duty and responsibility to reveal the truth as more as we can. And also we have to say thank you to Miles Guo, because Miles Guo is a number one, is a brave one, is our hero to, sacrifice his own benefits and freedom and to bring us all of this kind of information. Take this Hong Kong movement as another example, because related with CCP virus, actually from the very beginning, the dictator in CCP region, they want to use CCP virus to do harm to Hong Kong people. They want to spread out the, disease or the virus and let people infected as here, the police, some very, bad policemen, sent by the CCP region, and they warned this kind of, ordinary people, we will kill you, we will beat you, we will silence you.
It's a type of threat.
Yes, a kind of threat.
To silence the protesters.
But actually, they really did like this, not only by words. Remember, they are by taking the force, taking to the practice, and just doing it, just, having been doing until now. That is why the whole Hong Kong just falling down. The Hong Kong is not the Hong Kong, is not the Oriental Pearl anymore. And it's not the respect for international commercial center anymore.
Yeah,
it's not a free port anymore.
It used to be the center for a lot of industry.
Yes, a lot of people just, love Hong Kong.
But now, because as a result of the CCP's control, it leads to this, I don't know, barren place. I don't know what you would call it, but it's nothing like what it was before. It's because people no longer have the freedom to say what they want. People no longer have the the right to protest anymore.
Yes.
So there was the massive protest in Hong Kong in 2019, but you can barely see a protester on the streets in Hong Kong now because the CCP has passed many restricting laws that take away people's freedom. So
Yes,
people
you're
are
right.
no longer able to protest like they did before. And even when they did, the police heavily cracked down on them. So it was just the result of the CCP's control leads to disaster after disaster. And in the end, it will just cause the loss of rights and human rights for people living in that region.
Yeah. We should ask one question. Why Hong Kong people would like to go out to do their fight, to just, shout out.
In
We need
millions.
yes, millions. The first time it's very, surprising the whole world. The first time that is on July, the 6th of July in 2019. That is the first time. And at that time, on that day, that is more than 1 million people.
Which
go
is a
on
lot for a protest.
And then the second time, I don't know, I cannot, trust my memory, but around 16th of June, the 16th of June, and then more people, double the number. That means more than 2 million people, Hong Kong people. Because we only got several million people in Hong Kong.
So
in
essentially, almost a third.
Half or 1/3.
Yeah, a third
yes.
of people of that state went
Yes.
outside and protested.
That
I
means
can't imagine it happening
People cannot
in
accept.
any other place.
Yes, they want to change the law, but Hong Kong got their own, the basic law of Hong Kong. So the CCP China, the dictator, they want to just change the law as their will, not at people's will, not
Yeah.
going through the whole judicial system
Judicial
to
review.
judicial review, and also doing that's lead a lot of work. But this is a democratical area, special district. So people cannot accept that. And then people go fight. And then the government sent some, very dark and evil police force to beat the people, to kill the people. And then they would like to send out the virus.
Yeah, and apparently cracking down on these protesters wasn't enough for the CCP. They wanted extra harm. They wanted to do
Yes.
even more damage to the Hong Kong people. So maybe this was their original plan. So they wanted to release the virus
Yes.
first to Hong Kong and to make sure that no one could get out. Because once this lockdown happens as a result of the virus, people have to stay at home. They can't go out to the streets.
That's the reason. That's why they want to send out the CCP virus to just, silence people's voice and prevent people going
Yes.
outside to fight, for the law changing.
Yes, I'm pretty sure at some point Miles Guo also touched on this topic. It's just that he's not exactly saying this word for word, but he did talk about
Yes.
this at some point in his live stream, which I hope we could be able to share. But yes, this is a really good point. And maybe later on, the CCP got even more crazy and they thought, let's do it to the entire world.
Actually, that's another story. All the story keep changing because
That could be true.
that dictatorship region got several different branches, and they will fight inside. So some would like to send out the CCP virus to damage Hong Kong people's protest, and others would like to fight against with other how to say their adversary force. That means
mean within
yes,
the CCP?
inside the whole CCP system.
Oh, there's different factions.
families, yes, and they would like to fight against each other. So there are so many fighting forces inside the CCP region system, and they will just doing the work and add some changing stories with the whole.
Yeah, I think
that's very complicated.
Yes, I think the simplest explanation would be when people think this Chinese Communist Party, they think everyone is united there in one voice, but that's not true. There are actually many different factions within the party that are always competing for the most power and the most wealth.
Yeah, everyone want to be the king.
Yes, everyone wanted to
Every
be the king.
family want to, snatch the treasures and get the power and be the powerful family, the most powerful family in the system would like to have the best control. So, as you mentioned, you are right, Eddie. Actually, there are several parts of, forces fight together inside the CCP system, by themselves. And some parts of the, fighting would like to use, this CCP virus plan on Hong Kong people. So that means overlap, different story, overlap, and very complicated. But in short, here, the first reason why CCP virus being leaked out or on purpose leaked out just for Hong Kong movement. And Miles Guo also is the number one to share this information to the whole world.
Yes. I believe the plans of the CCP was always changing, but they never stopped to think about the consequences of their plan.
They won't.
It was just the extent
because
of harm they would do,
they got
but
the
never
medicine.
whether they would do harm or not. It was just how much harm they would do. So in the end, this, as we know, became a pandemic. But the starting point we're also trying to break down and learn about from Miles Guo's words.
Yes.
It's already half an hour.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe you'll just stop here.
We'll just wrap it up
because
today.
it's really difficult for us to reveal or just expose the whole facts and the truth to our audience.
It's
if you are not like
topic.
us, in this movement and followed with Miles Guo for many years, because a lot of different story versions are overlapped and how to twist it together. It's really difficult to see from one angle or just add some information for another one. So just let us continue for next day, and we will
We'll
continue
see you
to
next
be
time.
continued. Thank you very much.